Welcome back to Carolina Camera, and wow, do we have a special treat for you tonight, a surprise from our archives. I recently found film of an iconic Carolina Camera story that hadn't been seen in its entirety since 1971, 53 years ago. Now, we've had it digitized so you can see it. The story of Willard Watson, who was a moonshiner in the hills of Watauga County. C.J. Underwood, who originated Carolina Camera, has a story, and you're going to see it exactly as it aired on WBTV back in 1971.
For the next couple of minutes, it's 1930, and you're a revenue agent combing the woods for moonshiners. And this is your lucky day because you have caught him red-handed. There's old Willard Watson firing up his 35-gallon furnace. He's already dumped in the 4-day-old beer mash from the barrels. He's adding a gallon of rye and a gallon of malt from sprouted corn. It won't be long before he'll have a gallon of pure whiskey, the kind Willard declares will make you want to see your mother and shake her hand. Like any good moonshiner, Willard can feel the steam and know it's ready to cap. And just so that steam will force that pure stuff into the copper coils, he spreads pure rye paste around the edges of the cap. Now, you don't want to grab Willard till the liquor is ready to pour, and you've got to be careful of Rusty. It's known in these parts that Rusty will run anything from a bumblebee to a lizard, and he ain't partial to revenuers either. 65-year-old Willard Watson, though, is a prize catch for a government man. Moonshine got in his blood when he was just a small boy, and his uncle helped him make some pure apple brandy. But this mountaineer was smart. There's money in stilling liquor, he'd caution his kinfolk, but there's the penitentiary in it, too. Uh-oh, you know Willard can smell a revenuer 100 yards away, and he didn't bring that musket out for hunting squirrels. Maybe you'd better call the office and send for some help if you're going to bust up Willard Watson still today. In all his days as a moonshiner, they never got Willard behind bars. It's too late now because Willard has the government's permission to keep his old still. You've guessed, of course, that this is all a put-on. Willard's been boiling water all this time, but it sure did bring back memories, like the time a friend put the government men on his trail.
This fella turned us in and the law threw the 38 special right in my face. He said, it won't be long now. And I wheeled and turned, and when I did, I just naturally dead flat out running. And while he'd put the light on me, I'd fall on the ground and skeet on my belly. And when the light had come off of me, I'd come to my feet. And I'm the only man there is in this county that absolutely outrun Polly White. Days that's gone by, we'd laugh about that. And he said, I must be partly lizard because I outrun him skeeting on my belly.
Was that the closest call you had?
That is the closest they ever got to getting me tangled up in. So I got out of that easy, and that learned me. I decided, well, I believe I'll just let that alone, that I can live without fooling with whiskey. But I've still, on through life, I have drinking a drink of whiskey all my life. But if I had any brains, I used brains enough to never would let it get ahead of me. Anything that I can't stay ahead of, I won't fool with it 1 minute.
Was there good money in White Lightning?
There was money in White Lightning. Then good whiskey was bringing $20 a gallon any time you had it. And good whiskey that was made from a decent outfit will bring $25 a gallon. Pure corn liquor made from white corn will bring $25 a gallon per every gallon you could make.
It'll bring you something else, too, won't it?
Yes, it'll bring you can't go the road, you'd forget your hat. And if you was to drink as much as a half a pint of that, you couldn't hit the wall with a handful of beans. And if you started the church, you'd knock on the door and ask to live there.
Now, that's really being high, huh?
That's really getting where you didn't need a cane or couldn't crawl on your belly because you'd be too drunk you'd have to lay on your back.
What if the law were repealed and White Lightning was legal again? Would you go right back out in the woods and start all over?
I would like to go back and take 10 bushel of pure white corn, 1 bushel of ground rye, and 1 bushel of ground malt, and double still a little bit of pure corn liquor, and then put it up with this stuff that the government makes and have it analyzed and tested to see who made the best whiskey, Willard or the government.
Oh my gosh, that story is so timeless. No doubt Willard Watson was quite the character. He died back in 1994, 89 years old. He and his wife Ora were married 69 years. They had 16 grandchildren, 19 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. And by the way, CJ also did a second story with Mr. Watson you'll want to see, and you can watch that right now on WBTV.com. This has really been a lot of fun going down the Carolina camera memory lane. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Who knows when you'll see our next adventure, so you better stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I'm John Carter. I'll see you down the road.